Hey there, everybody. It's Ramsey. Please excuse my voice. I know it sounds a little wonky right now, but I'm currently fighting off some of those pesky allergies. But I wanted to show you a fun way you can add some texture and dimension to those super cute denim jackets you see in like bachelorette sets, wedding sets, even birthday sets. They're so versatile. That's why I love using this cookie cutter. First, you're going to start out by outlining. Some people use toothpaste consistency. Some people use flood consistency even to outline the shape of their cookies. So it's just whatever preference you like to outline with. And in whatever color. I'm doing, as you can see, a light blue here as the base. Flood that middle section first and scribe it out to the edges so that it's all even and laying flat. And then you're gonna let that sit just for maybe 20 minutes or so before you go and flood your sleeves. And that just kind of separates the sections of the jacket and gives it a little more dimension. You're gonna hear me say the word dimension and texture a lot throughout this video, so just be prepared. So once you have it flooded, you're gonna let it dry 100% completely dry before this next step. This next step, I am just putting a cheetah pattern stencil inside of a Stencil Genie holder, and I'm using a stencil scraper. And what I'm doing with the stiff icing here in that bag, I'm not stenciling over this pattern over the entire jacket because I just want parts of it to have a cheetah pattern. It's just kind of my design technique I'm using for this cookie. So I'm just laying down some stiff icing over the areas that I want to have the cheetah pattern over the jacket. And then you just take your scribe and scrape off any icing that goes over the edge. The next part after the pattern dries, you're gonna use some Wedgwood gel color. That's what I'm using here. Like I said, it's so versatile, whatever color patterns you want. And then I'm using a wedge sponge, and obviously it's never been used. It's clean and it's latex free. And that's what I'm using to dab the Wedgwood. It's straight Wedgwood gel. It's not diluted with anything. And I'm just dabbing it around places on this cookie. You want to start in the areas of the cookie where you want it to be kind of darker because it's more it's heavier on your sponge that way the first time you dab it down. And then from there, you can kind of spread it around by just dabbing. And once again, the first time you touch it after you scrape some of the color on your sponge, make sure you touch it down to an area where you don't mind the cookie having more of a shaded look, like around in the crease of the sleeves and the collar, as you can see. And then I just kind of basically go around and see where do I want to add some darkness, where do I want it to be a little bit lighter. And if I want it to be darker, once again, I'll just dip my sponge back in that pot of Wedgwood and start there and then just kind of dab it out as it blends and gets lighter. And then on the spots that are not the cheetah pattern, you don't want to scrape those off, because if you did what I'm doing here on those, you would scrape that pattern off. So just find little areas of your denim jacket and you just take a scribe and literally just start scraping in different directions. You cannot mess this up. Just find some areas, like I said, that don't have that cheetah pattern and just kind of make those, you know, those typical denim scratch marks on that you see on, you know, faded vintagey type denim materials. This last part, what I'm doing is just outlining with some stiff, actually it might even be toothpaste. You could do either. Toothpaste is probably better because it lays flatter on the cookie and it's less likely to pop off. And I'm just making some of those little design areas and outlines on the jacket. There you go.